This video covers the IGCSE Biology Objective 2.1.1 on the 2025 CAIE syllabus to describe and compare the structure of a plant cell with an animal cell. So let's take a look at animal cells. Here we have a drawing or a diagram, a label diagram of a typical animal cell that you might find anywhere on the internet. There are various components called organelles inside an animal cell. You need to know what a cell membrane is: a nucleus, cytoplasm, ribosomes, mitochondria, and vesicles. So you should be able to identify those in a diagram. Some of these structures can be seen under a compound light microscope, some of them cannot. So the things that you would need to be able to identify under a microscope are the nucleus, cytoplasm, cell membrane, and mitochondria in an animal cell. And so you can see in the microscope pictures that are posted here, the cells are dyed blue in one and then pink in the other. You can see that there is an outer layer that keeps everything together. There is some sort of substance that contains all the organelles in the cell. There is a darker, large organelle, and then some smaller, darker dotted organelle parts. Those are all the things that can be seen under the compound light microscope. Typically, an animal cell is 10 to 30 micrometers in diameter. And we'll talk more about the function of these organelles and how to determine the size of the specimen a little bit later. All right, let's look at plant cells. Plant cells have some of the same parts that animal cells have. There are a few differences, especially in the shape and some of the organelles. So the organelles that you need to know in plant cells are the nucleus, cytoplasm, the cellulose cell wall, a cell membrane, chloroplast, vacuole, mitochondria, and ribosome. So you can see that some of them overlap. Now, what can be seen under a compound light microscope is the nucleus, the cell wall, the chloroplasts, and the cytoplasm. Those are typically the things that you can see in a plant cell. Here are some examples under the light microscope, and you can see that they do have a definite sort of geometric shape. There is some fluid inside the cell. You can see that there is a larger organelle and then some smaller, but not as small as mitochondria, organelles that fill the plant cells, depending on the type of cell in the plant that it is. These cells tend to be between 10 and 100 micrometers in length, and again, we will take a look at the various organelles and what they do in further videos. Okay, so when we're comparing the plant cell versus the animal cell, we have all the structures that you need to know listed there, and they are all found in the plant cell. There are three structures which are not found in the animal cell, and that is the cell wall, the chloroplast, and the vacuole. However, just to there is a similar structure in animal cells that you really don't need to identify at this point, called vesicles, which has a similar function to a vacuole that you would find in a plant cell. And we'll talk about that a little bit later. So there are organelles in animal cells that carry chemical products through the cell, and those are called vesicles. The vacuole in the plant cell has a specific function that we will talk about a little bit later. So when you're comparing plant and animal cell structure, you can see that what you need to know is the structure, whether they're found in the plant cell or whether they're found in the animal cell, and be able to identify those structures, be able to look at a diagram or an image from a light microscope and identify whether it's a plant cell or an animal cell.